Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the MrMaple Show. We've got a snake bark maple to talk to you about today. I'm Matt, that's my little brother Tim. We're those guys that do MrMaple.com. We love putting colorful new trees on our website every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Guys, today we're talking about the snake bark red flamingo.
Yeah, this is Acer rubescens red flamingo, sometimes listed as Acer conspicuum red flamingo. It was found as a variegated sport on the Cultivar silver cardinal. And basically people disagree on whether silver cardinal is a rubescens or a conspicuum. So you may find this particular selection, red flamingo, listed as either.
Guys, I love the bark on red flamingo. Snake barks are among some of the most interesting bark maples you can have. They have that incredible winter interest going on, and red flamingo does not disappoint in the bark department. As this tree gets older, you get some fissures with some lighter colors going on below it that almost gives it a snake-like appeal. I love going up to older snake barks and just kind of touching the bark. They kind of have a waxy, glossy feel to them. It's so next level. It doesn't feel like a tree. It seems like something like AI generated in your landscape. It's so weird. It's so interesting. I absolutely love the tree. Now, on top of all that, red flamingo is actually a variegated selection. So you're getting that bark interest, but you're also getting some incredible pink on white going on this green leaf in the early spring. Now, one of my favorite things about red flamingo is when it hits fall color, you can have hot pink on red on that fall color. A lot of times the wider parts will get more of a hot pink, and they really stand out with that red bark, red foliage, and then hot pink accents on there. It's one of the most amazing fall displays, and then you're getting that crazy bark all winter long.
And snake barks are often not given the same credit as many Japanese maples, but there's so many awesome selections.
Give them some credit.
Of the snake barks. And I know when I was talking to Peter Gregory, who wrote the third or fourth edition of the book on Japanese maples, I asked him what his favorite maple was, and he mentioned a species of snake bark. I mean, snake barks are simply amazing. They're in section micrantha, and everything in there has this wonderful bark, like Matt was mentioning. The bark on itself gets striations in it that look like snake skin. It gives you just this really unique feel out there in the landscape and garden. Some things we've learned about snake barks is make sure you give them good drainage. We've got a native snake bark, Acer pennsylvanicum, in the Appalachian Mountains, and it grows where you have great drainage. And we found that to be true of almost every snake bark selection.
Getting back into the Blue Ridge Mountains, we study how Acer pennsylvanicum grows, and a lot of times it's on hillsides and embankments, so that drainage is really increased. So I like to grow snake barks that way here in the South to kind of mimic the success we're seeing in nature. It's a great way to give your plants an edge up. So snake barks, good drainage like Tim was saying. Another interesting tidbit about these, putting them next to a structure will make them grow like gangbusters. Guys, you're not going to believe the growth you'll get on this. I have one up next to a shed, and it far exceeds the growth of one out on its own. Maybe it's that coolness on the roots, that little bit of provided late day shade on it, but I see these doing really well next to structures in the landscape. So next to a wall, next to a fence, up close next to your house. I love them for that reason. They have a very non-invasive root system, but you can put it next to a small rock wall or something like that. It's almost like you're giving it something to lean on without actually leaning on it. But you'll find that accentuates the growth and actually picks up the growth of snake barks. I've got a little wooden shed in our backyard, and I plant snake barks all around it and I have great success, partially because of that cooling, but I think they love that relationship. We see that a lot in nature as well with Acer pennsylvanicum.
Now, this particular selection, Acer rubescens red flamingo, we believe could possibly be the same cultivar as S. flamingo. So it resulted as a sport at S Valley Nursery in New Zealand. This is such an amazingly variegated tree. It gives you everything you love about Japanese maples and snake bark maples with even more flair. You get the interesting bark, you get a pink red bark with striations, you get interesting leaves, but then you get variegation on top of that. In the springtime, you get some really nice shades of pink on there with that white. I mean, for me, this tree adds a lot of dramatic effect in the landscape and garden, and it's one that every time we list it, this does sell out really quickly. So if you find out that it's been sold out when you're watching this video, you can actually go and click on the red flamingo part on our website, and then you can click notify me, plug in your email address, and we'll notify you when this tree becomes available again.
Red flamingo is one of those trees that does not use the minimal amount of flair. It goes above 17 pieces of flair. You're going to get maximum flair, maximum drama in the garden with this one, or at Tchotchkes if you know the Office Space reference. But I love this tree, guys. It's going to work zones 5 through 9. You're definitely going to want to give this some protection in a hotter zone 9, so a lot of shade in zone 9. A good bit of sun in a lot of locations is really nice. I find late day shade will make you have more premium variegation on this. This is a maple from Japan. You can pair with so many other trees too. This looks so great in a Japanese maple collection. One of my favorite things about snake barks are the samaras. They hang long tassel samaras down. They actually make these tasseled, it's almost architectural, and it really is unique on the snake barks. Most of our Japanese maples have little individual samaras and 2x2s. With snake barks, they'll drop these little chains down, guys. It's so ornamental. It's almost like you get these little wind chimes hanging off snake barks. Like I talk about the flowers on Acer japonicum being a factor for me, I love the samaras on the snake barks. Great flowers too, but the samaras, they really added extra ornamental quality to snake bark maples.
Now those seeds don't come back true to form. They are promiscuous in the garden. So they do hybridize with all the other snake barks in the garden. Anything it can hybridize with, it typically does. And then people are stuck here trying to argue what the species is, whether it's rubicens or conspicuum.
Yeah, the snake barks they get around, guys. You really don't know what's going on there. But the seeds are actually a lot of fun to go through. And I think they make such a fun quality. If you've ever seen snake bark seeds, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. They're a really interesting kind of like little chains that dangle down, and it just adds so much to this foliage. Now, my favorite time for this tree is that fall color, but you're gonna love the white, creamy patterns this one gets in the early spring. When it's out of leaf completely, you know, it's a lot of people would say it's at its premium time because that bark is gonna be bright red. That's where the Flamingo name actually comes from. One of the first times I ever saw this tree was at Esfeld Plantineum. We've got a podcast we recently did with Cor Van Gelderen. I was walking around Esfeld Plantineum maybe in like 2011 or 12, and I absolutely fell in love with red flamingo. I knew I had to start growing this at Mr. Maple. Phenomenal colors. And that one, when I saw it, was in premium fall colors. So it was just this neon pink on red, and my heart melted. I've been a fan of this one ever since. We'll keep bringing back Sunshine as well. Perfect pairing with this, another snake bark. We've got a Yano's Gift on the way. But guys, red flamingo for bark, for foliage, for flower, for seeds, for everything about this tree. I think you're going to absolutely love it. It's going to be a gem in your garden. And grab a big one on Mr. Maple when they're available. We've got some XL 1 gallons right now coming up soon. If you don't see it in stock, check back with us. We bring things back frequently.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.